because that was not supposed to happen. So let's try this again. Wow. Alright, close that and minimize that. Let's pop this box out. Very good, thank you. Minimize. And let's go back to here. And go to here. Run that. See if that's going to work now. Maybe, possibly, probably not. Probably broken. Let's see if we can add that. Here's some chat. Hey, Unfiltered, how's it going? It was not supposed to start yet. I tried to schedule it for 3:45, so I'm working it on the fly. Glad to have you here. Got one more camera I'm trying to get hooked up that's giving me some issues. It's wanting to give a bad picture. I understand, buddy. I appreciate it very, very much. Always a pleasure to see you. I think I got that going. Yeah, I didn't mean to start it already, but you know, it is what it is. Nope. Okay. There we go. Now, let me add a camera here. Hopefully it works this time. For some reason it's giving a bad picture to the stream. Hey 44, how's it going, buddy? This started a little early on me. Yeah, the beard's got to stick together. Absolutely, absolutely. And see, I didn't even get time to brush the beard out before I got on here just because it popped up live early. Hey Rod, welcome. Glad to have you here. This thing started a little early on me, so I'm kind of working it on the fly here. Hopefully the feed is better on this camera now. It kept like glitching out. Looks like it on my end. We'll get that in place and we'll be doing all right. Get that off of your screen. So I think possibly that everything is working now, maybe. With that, get my chat up here. All right, thank you 44. Glad to have you all in here. Basically, I was at work and you know, I've been trying to find a time to stream. Not that I'm going to make this my regular time, but I was like, you know what? I ought to just get on and stream for a couple hours. I'm only like 31 away from 200 subs, so just going to push it, you know. I need to share this out, see if we can't get some people in here. I'd really like to hit. I'm trying to get at least. I am using OBS and multiple screens and a whole lot going on. Hey Pam, welcome, welcome. So when it popped on early, I had one camera that was not functioning and one screen that was down, but I think everything's working good now. Oh yeah, no, that is my Bisher. That's an up close of my Bisher. He's my channel mascot. Very close to the ropefish though. That profile shot of him looks almost the same. So I think we're good. I'm trying something new here. I've got a second monitor going, and then up here I have where we can look things up. So if we want to look into something, like case in point, there's the website. not fully set up. If any of you all stream and you would like your time added to this lineup calendar, just let me know. I'd be glad to put it on there. I'm kind of just trying to get everybody's permission before I do, even though it's not legally necessary to get it. But I wanted to have a really easy place to type one thing in. It pops right up, and we can see everybody that streams and what time in terms of the Fish Fam. So, yeah, unfiltered, it's a little bit. I had 3 monitors going, but the laptop wouldn't support it. Hey, Chewy, how are you? That was a really awesome video. I actually was watching it while I was standing in line at the bank, holding a big burlap sack, is what we have at the store when I have to get large amounts of rolled change. So I've got this 1-gallon burlap sack standing in line at the bank watching this Bonnie and Clyde film. So it felt cool to me. But, so Pam, if you want, because I'm horrible with remembering, everything's on notifications, and I think that's the issue most of us have, is we don't really remember when everybody streams because we just get a notification and go. But Pam, if you'd like, I can update the website to add your day and time on here. 44, I think I had heard Jess say you were going to start streaming. Is that correct? But yeah, I'm trying to, I don't want to say make it more professional because I'm not at a professional level, but I want to make it more interesting than just a picture of me or video of me. Yeah, Chewy, absolutely. I had a running joke when they were replacing the doors downstairs at the bank. They were having to get in through the ceiling. I kept trying to tell them for like 3 days in a row they needed to move over about 20 feet to get below the vault. And of course I had that burlap bag with me every time, and they were kind of wondering about me, I think. Hey, Big J, welcome to the stream. But, okay, let's see. Pam is Mountain Time. So that's 11 o'clock Eastern, if I remember correctly. Hey, Fish Tropic, how's it going, buddy? Always glad to see you in here. All right, Pam, I will write that down. That way I'm not sitting here editing the website on the live stream. Won't write it down with that. So my hope had been to do that second camera over Wi-Fi and kind of give you all a tour, but the video quality was just absolutely horrible. I tried it right before I got set up and it was just really, really choppy. I may be tempted at some point, if it gets that dull for you all, to try and carry my laptop mic and second camera and do a tour. 11 p.m. Wednesdays. I'll add that on there, Pam. That way we can kind of get a list compiled. And, you know, I understand 44. I'm still kind of trying to find a good time that works. There are a couple of times I'd absolutely love to stream, if nothing else, just because people are usually available and bored. But I'm always at work at those times. So I'm trying to find something that matches, you know, when there's an open spot and when I'm actually available to do it. So I don't, you know, I understand it's kind of a dog-eat-dog world, but I try not to stream over people. So I figure unless there's somebody that I'm not aware of, we don't have Susan for about 3 more hours. So that gives me a couple hours to try and push. See if we can get some more subscribers today, so I can try and hit my personal goal that I've set. Not that it's a need, it's just kind of nice to be able to achieve those goals. I figure if I can hit it a week early, then why not? So I do have, I can move the camera over. I've actually taken a 40 breeder and added about 18 Tetris to it, along with the snowballs that are in there. So give me a second. The camera might flip over, but we're going to try this. Probably sitting just a little crooked, but there's a new shot for you all this week. So yeah, I appreciate you all being here. It means a lot to me. It's just one of those things. Just wanted to do a little bit of grinding and try and, promote the channel as well as talk to you all. I figured, there were sure to be at least a handful of people that were bored and looking for something to do. So here we are. Let me see. I'm probably going to break something trying to do this. But actually, let's do it this way. Hey, second monitor, how about that? So, I can pull it off of here. And no, I want to share it. Come on now. No. Killing me. Yeah, Big J, I do the same, and I think UA Unfiltered is also at work. Alright, stop. I'm not trying to play your thing on here. I just want to get the link to be able to share it in the chat. Oh, for the love of all that is holy. Hey, there we go. This monitor is supposed to be in high def, but the screen is kind of lacking, so hopefully the quality that you all are seeing, yeah, I can actually see the screen better on my OBS than I can looking at the screen just due to the brightness. Let's paste that. You guys need to go check that out if you have not already. It's a really cool video. I enjoyed it. I'm probably going to watch it again later on when I'm not standing in line and I can kind of focus a little bit more on it, but I thought it was pretty cool. So let's go back and back. Oh, and yeah, forgive me if I'm staring up. Actually, I can show you all this real quick. So this is my fancy smancy setup here with the lovely wood there. I had a bracket to put that on, but the kids have done something with it. So I decided I could take a couple of 2x4 brackets and some pieces of wood and just build a little stand for now. I know, we're fancy around here, huh? But that's why you'll see me looking up, is because that monitor sits a good bit up. I wanted to be able to see it around the laptop and the other cameras and stuff. Unfiltered, I will see you later if you're not already gone. I appreciate you stopping by very much. Appreciate the support. Don't let them work you too hard, buddy. Yeah, so the goal is to get another bracket, since I'm sure the kids have probably destroyed that one. And I want to attach it to the shelving that you all can't see on camera. You could kind of see it when I showed you the other monitor. And that way it can swivel out, and then when I'm not using it, I can just swing it back out of the way. And that'll give me a decent setup. And when we have things that, we want to look at, or if we're talking about something in particular, I can pull it up on here. I can move the screens around. We can do some different things. So, still playing with it. Got a couple other things in the works. Working with another content creator to try and get a dual stream going. Have a guest on here. I've thought about doing Streamlabs. Yeah, if it works, then it's just perfect. Yeah, I appreciate that, Rod. My only fear is that in order for it to be slightly more stable, I need to maybe add one more 2x4. But I'd rather just get to the hardware store and buy another mounting bracket at that point. Um, I did have a 32-inch flat screen in here, and then I realized there was nowhere it was going to fold out of the way, and I didn't want it hanging out over the desk for all eternity. So we took that back out. But I'm looking at maybe here in the next month, moving some tanks around, reorganizing the fish room, moving this desk around somewhere. The sad thing is, I built and measured everything. Hey Jess, welcome, welcome. For those of you who haven't seen, basically my setup consists of, from the living room there's a hallway, and then there are 2 bedrooms off of that. That's where all my tanks are. So in order to get to the room I'm in now, my office, versus my fish room, you go through the hallway and into here. Well, I left enough room when I built the racks in the hall to be able to get tanks past it. I did not leave enough room to be able to get this desk past it. So this desk is either stuck in this room indefinitely or being torn apart with a sledgehammer and thrown out the window. And I really like this desk. It's an old heavy-duty desk, so I'm trying to figure out where I can move it to give a better kind of shot. Which reminds me, let me get you all the angelfish back here. There we go. So back just a little and up just a little, and then I'll screw it up again here in a second. So yeah, so that is kind of what I'm looking at doing. I need to get, I've got a 220 gallon in storage, so I need to get that out and build a stand for it in the living room so I can get the piranha into it. It's time for them to get a bigger tank. They're not really having much issue in terms of territory, but I want them in a bigger tank at the size they're at. When that happens, I'll take that 125 and my 110 and build a rack for them, so that they're taking up less space. And then I'm either looking at doing maybe some more 10s on one rack and some standard 20s on another. Yeah, Rod, the desk is not going very far. That's the other thing. Before I got back into fish, I also moved my safe into here, which is a good 700 pounds and will not fit down the hallway. So this room is kind of limited for tanks just because of the safe and the desk, which I actually have a couple of tanks on top of the safe, only one of which is set up at the moment, but it's got my brackish water. Yeah, the problem is on this desk, it actually has metalwork that's riveted in place at all the joints. It's a much heavier duty desk than what you pick up nowadays at a Walmart. So it would be interesting. I would probably destroy it trying to disassemble it just because of how well it's put together. It's designed not to fall apart. It's maybe 200 pounds and I can flip it on its side. They will probably stay in the 220 at least until I can get some property purchased and do a fish gallery or whatever you want to call it. And I know some people would say that's not ideal given their size, but I've had a school of about the same amount that was actually red bellies and some maculatus piranha, and they did fine in that 220. That's actually what I had in there before I converted it to salt, before I tore it down my last run through on the hobby. So they will probably live out their lives in that 220. I will more than likely end up, if I can get breeding pairs, which is the plan, when I find a pair, pull them out, give them maybe a 75 or a 90 gallon for themselves. Because I'd really like to breed these guys. They're not one there's one case of them being bred, and it's highly disputed just because, you know, the internet is like, oh, if you don't have a video, I don't believe it, even though it was done like 15 or 20 years ago. I've bred some other piranha that were not typically breedable in captivity, so I'm hoping to be able to get these to spawn once they get matured. So that would be the plan. So it may end up with a few less fish in the 220 gallon, but the 220 gallon, at least for the plan right now, is going to be their home. They do grow a lot slower after the first 6 months, which they're somewhere around 6 months now. But I know once I get them in that 220, they'll start growing again a little bit better. Even though I keep my parameters in check and everybody's well fed and do all my water changes. And they don't really swim around a lot. They just kind of like to hang out. I know they'll still enjoy the room. Yeah, I know, Chewy, I know. But you know what? That's the thing, is they don't really move much. And they're not a super active fish. You know, they come out and they get aggressive when they're feeding, but other than that, they just want to sit in one spot for the most part and snap at other fish that kind of float towards them until they float somewhere else. So, yeah, I mean, eventually the goal is to have some massive tanks. There are some tanks that are for sale locally, that are from a Chinese restaurant that's closed down. Those are from, hold on, hey, let's put this technology to use here. See if I can find my mouse. Here we go. So, let's do this, because I don't honestly remember off the top of my head. Plus, it's been a long day. Alright, so, there we go. Da-da-da. I would assume Orinoco. Sure, I'm saying that wrong, given that that's one of their common names according to that. So let's see. Venezuelan red bellies, another common name. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Range. Only found in Rio, Orinoco, Lowland Basin, and I can't hardly read the screen from here, Llanos region in Venezuela. They are generally, I say generally, excluding the one time that the gentleman bred them in captivity, they're one of those wild caught only fish that you can only get in the right season. So I got them while I could get them. They were extremely small. I bought them as 1 inch. Some of them weren't even that. So that's that is it. I don't know. Let's see if we can do this. We're going to play around with some technology while I've got you guys on here. Now I really want to move that monitor closer. Oh, I also forgot to lower my chair down. Hey, there we go. See, the little things that you all don't even know that I do. Oh, come on. I mean, I could pull the window out on here. I don't really care to do that, but let's do it that way. So we'll unlock that. Oh, no, because it's over top of that one. So we'll quit playing with that. I can move it. Move it up top. Oh, I'm going to break something. That's okay. Hey, there we go. So, there you go, Chewy. I don't necessarily know about the dark, so to speak. I wouldn't turn the lights on the tank at that point in time, but when I was breeding my red bellies and the others, I mean, I would try and time it out. Hey, Jay's Betta, welcome. Let me shrink this down real quick. Chewy, did you get the information you wanted off of there before I shrink this window down? But I would keep their lights off, and I would drop that tank down to maybe 50% water. It's been 9-10 years, I'm trying to remember, but I would try and mimic all the things in nature, you know, all the way up to trying to do it when storms were coming through for barometric pressure variances, you know, cold water coming in, pH fluctuations, all the stuff that would naturally trigger them to spawn. And then that worked, and it became easier and easier to get them to spawn. So it at one point got to where I could trigger the red bellies when they were ready with just a nice big water change versus trying to put a couple weeks into it. Because I know it sounds weird, but even things like the water hitting from higher up, kind of like the false rain, you know, even trying to mimic things like that by having the water lower in the tank and water falling onto it from higher up. So let's switch this back up here. That should cover that. No, we don't want it that. Okay. Nope. Let's do this. Alright. Get my windows fixed back up here. Close enough, I think. Pull this back in here. So yeah, so they're every time somebody locally finds out I have them, they're like, "Can I buy one off of you?" And I'm like, "No, you can go spend $60 on this website a piece, because that's at this size. That's about what they run for." I'm still playing with that. Hey, Tater Salad, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Yes, fish nerds, shrimp nerds, fish fam, shrimp fam. It's all aquatic love. So, Chewy, you know they're from the same river as these snowball plecos I've got. I should just throw the snowballs in there, right? I mean, isn't that how that works? This is horrible. The stream started early and I don't even have a drink or anything. It's all sitting in the other room. I was headed to go smoke when the stream kicked on. So, let's see. You all are just barely out of picture from seeing that snowball. So let me move this camera a little bit for you all. Give you a different shot. Now if I could just get the camera to stay there. No, that's not going to happen. Maybe. Maybe. There you go, get bubbles. There you go. You can kind of see a couple of the snowballs in there. So anybody got any fishy projects going on today? There we go. Get you the angelfish shot. Yeah, Chewy, no, I was just kidding. I would not do that. I like my snowballs too much to do that. Oh. see if I can get this guy in the shot here. Oh, awesome, Chewy. You doing some video work? Or are you doing, well, that's right, you don't, I forget that you don't keep fish sometimes, so I would presume that it is video work. And sorry guys, I can't stop the bubbles. That's just part of the plumbing setup. It was done intentionally. I could turn the pump off, but at this point that wouldn't be good for the sump. I mean, it wouldn't overflow, but it would feel higher than I feel safe letting it sit. It's not paint by numbers, but it's something. Oh, well, that's awesome, Jess. I never got into the D&D thing, but I know several people that are. Miss Fever's got a couple friends that are D&D nerds, and I say nerds with no offense meant, given that we call ourselves fish nerds. So yeah, the snowballs are doing good. I did find out some information. Original song at Fish Code Native. Yeah, that's awesome, Chewy. I look forward to that. I'd say let me know when it goes up, but I'll get the notification. So, and YouTube hopefully will let me know. And I did share out your video earlier onto my Facebook page. I didn't put it in the Fish Tubers notifications, just because A, I'm not really familiar with that group much, and B, it wasn't fish related, so I don't know how that works. Even though you're Fish Fam. But I did stick it on my personal page. You can't hear the bubbles over yours. Yeah, I'm a nerd about most things too, Jess. I'm just glad to see the snowballs out. 4 of them I've had for about a month. I'd have to go look at when the video went out. And then the other 2 I've had for a few weeks. 2 weeks. I've had for 2 weeks. But they've been hiding a lot, so I'm glad to see that they're actually coming out and swimming around. I had hoped that putting the tetras in there would kind of give them some, dither fish to make them feel a little bit more secure. But let me see. I may be able to get you all a better camera angle. I am kind of limited by the length of this cord here. But I may be able to get you all something without bubbles if the bubbles are too bad on your screen. So... Oh, Jess, did you ever see that Pikachu Pleco that Not Nola Jane was talking about last night? I think it's pretty cool. These snowballs are a couple inches. Go figure, I don't have my calipers when I need it. They average about 3 inches. I've got a couple that are a little bit bigger and one that's a little smaller. If we can get you that shot of them over there. There are also some Jaguar. Oh, that's just worse on the bubbles. Tell you what, that air stone I can move. That doesn't even normally go here. I just used that in the box when I was moving over some tetras. Search it up. What am I searching up? Oh, search up the Pikachu Pleco? Yeah, the best that I know, because you can't find Pikachu Pleco. but I'm pretty sure it's an L56 variant. Oh, you are more than welcome, Rod. And I did find out some news. Well, I don't want to say news. I was researching those new Ranger plecos, and I think in my video, the information I had been given, people were saying that they maxed out at just a couple inches. But from what I'm actually finding, it looks like they're going to max it like 7 inches. So something like, something like a bushy nose in max size, 6.5, 7 inches for the new Rangers. But they're an awesome fish. I'm loving them. If shameless plug here, just because I don't have them in the room to show you, but if you haven't seen the video with the new Ranger plecos, I recommend you check that out because they're a cool little pleco. So let's do this and go back and go here. And do shift L56 pleco. So it really looked like it was a variant of the L56, because when you get to looking at the chubby pleco or the L56, you get, oh, it's doing the stupid zoom thing. You get just yellow, you get yellow with all sorts of different funky black marks on it. The one that was on, yeah, the one that was posted on the Seagrass Instagram had, yeah, that's a yellow rubber lip. I'm almost positive that's what they're calling that Pikachu pleco, is a yellow rubber lip. Because if you look through yellow rubber lips, the black variations on them can be all over the place. So let me come back down here. I'm gonna try not to make you all motion sick by doing this. Let's take a look at that. I haven't set up multiple scenes yet in OBS. Okay, I hope you enjoy. We'll try to only say bad things about you every once in a while. Paint us a masterpiece. So as you can see, different black on it there. Oh, hey, that's right. I can't do that from this screen. Other monitor. So I'm almost positive that what they were showing was just an L56 that had probably the most beautiful color pattern I've ever seen. So like, see there, different color patterns on it. So I'm almost positive that's what it was, was an L56 chubby rubber lip. Alright, let me fix this, come back down to this monitor, bring this back over, because I can't even see the chat at this point. Sorry guys, I know that is messing with you all at the moment. Get it slowly fixed here. Somewhere about there is good enough. So yeah, I really want one of those. Oh, actually, what I can do, well, let me look at chat real quick and we'll come right back to that. I figured that was Pam. All I could see on the part of the screen was listening and painting. Back in a moment. Alright, Rob, take your time. I'm going to be here for a while. Figure I'll kill about another 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, isn't that a gorgeous fish? I want to have the guys at my LFS order it because they're really good about hooking me up with stuff. Like, they're the ones that ordered the new Rangers. They know I've got a thing for plecos. You know, if I had the tank space, I would have just racks of 40 breeders with plecos, and then, you know, bigger tanks for the bigger species of plecos. If I hit the lottery, they'd be labeled out like a library with L numbers starting at the bottom and working their way up. Just, you know, thousands and thousands of gallons of plecos. But yeah, you went on for a while. I had to go to sleep last night. Yeah, that worked out much better that you got on there, especially because with you streaming off of StreamYard and letting other people come up. So, you know, that way Chris and 44 and all them could get up there and pay them. That worked out much better for the group, I would say. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Move this around. Make sure video's good here. No. Alright. I'm going to move the other camera. Let me find you all a good spot to sit. Actually, I'm going to put you back on the piranha for the moment. Y'all can see some of my fish mess as I'm moving this stuff around here. And I can adjust that. So yeah, so my fancy camera setup I've got going on is actually a selfie stick that I picked up for $1 and a little foam tripod I got from work for $5, and then my Note 8 and a USB cord. Yeah, I like them too. Excuse me. I'm trying to work on a way to incorporate guests into OBS because I like having some of the other features going on. Hey, New England. Yeah, go grab you some coffee. I may actually go grab my drink here in a minute. Like I said earlier, I didn't actually mean to start the stream just yet, and so my drink and all that good stuff and my water are all out in the other room. So I do want to show you all this. This is something I've been playing around with. Let's... And... Da-da-da. No, can't see the screen. There we go. So, what I've got right now, and this is still going to change, but if you go on the site, we've got a link up top that'll take you to Piaba. And then just... Excuse me. Just some basic stuff. A link back to my YouTube page. The logo for now. The usual Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube links. And then there's that, not calendar really, but listing of stream times. So that way, you know, I've tried to look up the times at like on the Facebook group or whatever. No, yeah, no, you were fine, Rob. As soon as I hit the button and it hadn't accepted my time to set it out until 3:45, I was like, oh well, let me click a couple buttons. I'll get it going live. I'll get the camera working on the fly, and it'll be all good to go. Hi, Candy. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Absolutely. You lurk and work, just don't work in here. So that's kind of what I'm working on. Hey, Candy picked a good time to pop in here. Eventually, one day, no rush, I'm going to get a list from Candy. That way I can finish filling out this information. So there's one spot, you could type it in, pull it up, and go, okay, there's the stream listing. Because I know we're all on notifications. So it's like, hey, when does this person stream? And it's like, whenever it pops up and tells me they're on. So I think that would be helpful, especially because I've noticed a lot of people, while they're streaming, they'll be trying to say, hey, this is the lineup for today, and they won't even remember some of the time. So something you can pull up, look at it real quick, close it, not have to go searching for anything. Just easily accessible information is what I was going for. Deemer, hey Daryl, welcome. Glad to have you here, buddy. Full moon. Excuse me. I am about to go grab a drink because I'm going to just keep coughing if I don't have something to drink. Full moon, welcome. Glad to have you here. I appreciate you swinging by. So let me do this. Okay. I'll tell you what I can do, since I do have access to move around this room with the camera. If you want, when I come back here in just a second, I can kind of take you all through the tanks I've got and show you some of the DIY type stuff or the rigging that I've done and how I've got things running. Maybe give somebody some ideas, you know, inspire somebody to think of something I haven't thought of in a better way to do it than what I'm doing. But most of my setups, it's okay, what do I have available? What can I attach it to? And how can I make it work? Candy, you don't have to work on it right now. I was just giving you a hard time. Yes, your time zone is fine, and I'll convert everything over. Just take your time, whenever. I was just picking at you. But it was just funny that you popped in as I was discussing the time schedule for the FishTube streamers. Actually, hey, that's a great idea, Fish Tropic. That just reminded me of something. Is there somebody, I'm sure Pam would volunteer if she was here, by God. Is there somebody that wants to unsubscribe and resubscribe to me? I've got an alert that's supposed to be set up, and I'm curious to see if it's actually going to work. It worked in testing. Hey, Don, welcome to the stream. Well, Candy, a minute for you is like 4 hours for any of us with what you're able to accomplish. I swear, she's got 3 or 4 hands. I don't know how she does it. I'm sure Pam's listening going, darn it, I want to unsubscribe. Okay, so that apparently is not working live. It worked in the test, but that's why I wanted to ask. So, yep, okay, so that's not working. I'll have to work on that another time then, because that should pop up a little alert. I'll stop that. But I guess it doesn't want to do it. Okay, well that's what I needed to know, because I tested it about 10 times and it worked in the test, but we know how that goes. I've lost my chat. There we go. Oh, here. I could probably set it back up real quick. So in theory, that popped up a dancing taco for you all. Which needs to be moved up. That way when it pops up over everything. And I could probably move it. So yeah, so there's supposed to be a dancing taco when we got a new subscriber, but it is what it is. I'm still playing with stuff. I'm just fortunate enough to be managing what I've got up. Hey D, welcome to the stream. Yeah, that's what I'm still in my work shirt at the moment. I was gonna change, but life happens. You know, I don't know how rare the L56 plecos are. Wow, I did not mean to zoom that in. Let me zoom this back out. Okay. We can look them up if you guys want to, see if we can find them. Let's get on that monitor. Really about to move this monitor back. Why don't I just have a Google on there? There should be Google on here. So let's go back to all. And let's look at for sale. Oh, it jumped. Oh, look, $159 in stock. I don't know if you all can see that. Yellow chubby rubber lip pleco. So let's see what else we got. Yes, Don, I forgot that I had moved the camera back. I'll move it again for you. I had the camera set up on there for a little while. Move this down. And maybe right there, possibly. It'll quit bouncing. No, I don't like that. Let's see. Hold on, guys. I'm working on it. I got to get my mouse back down to the right monitor here. So that's going to get you plenty of 2x4 in the shot. There we go. So yeah, so there are the Tetras, Don. I think I've got 15 to 18 in there. Yeah, I'm really enjoying having the Tetras in there. I've got a couple different types. I've got silver tips. I've forgotten what I have. Completely mind gone today. Work was a disaster. What did I get? I got the silver tips, sopes, and I don't remember. I really don't remember, honestly. My mind is gone. Oh, there we go. Hey, Valley Fish, welcome to the stream. Tetris, yeah, the Tetris. The Tetras. Now, see, now I'm really going to have to get a drink because not only is my throat itchy and I'm going to cough, but also my dentures are drying out. Fun fact of the day. Alright. You folks entertain yourself for just a moment, and I will be right back. D, I didn't get to watch your video yet. I started to, but I was at work at the moment, and stuff went crazy, and I wanted to watch it versus just playing it in the background listening to it. So, but I'm going to get on that today. Be back in a flash. Alright, sorry, had to run out to the car real quick. But I am back. So, hey Caleb, welcome. Glad to have you here, buddy. What's happening? I don't know what's happening. Yeah, getting a drink. I'm surprised you didn't put I was getting drunk, but no, it's non-adult beverages. Nothing against them, but you know, kids and stuff slowed me down with that. Um, yeah, Caleb, I was doing a lot of coughing, and who was it? Somebody was making fun of the way I was pronouncing things because my teeth were drying out. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Yeah, no, D. I try and watch everybody's videos on my subscription list every single day. Um, Sometimes I just don't do it at work. I had an issue with, for the first time in 6 years, I burnt through entirely too much data last month, and so I had like 10 days I couldn't even get into the streams at work, and I work 6 days a week, so that's the majority of the time when I'm getting on the streams. I'm at work. Was it a nice older lady? Okay, New England says I was at a nice older lady's live stream today, and she was putting up a link to join the panel, and a guy with a similar name to someone in the chat got on the panel. His pants were down, but oh, that's that. Yeah, that's wonderful. You know, people are interesting. I'll put it that way. Don, thank you. Yes, like is appreciated. Um, Basically, if anybody wants to share it out, you can. All right, Caleb. Yeah, I need to do some editing too, which gives me. I want to ask you all a question here in a second, but basically, I started up the stream because I'm hoping to maybe drive some new people in. I'm trying to hit 200. I think I've got 31 to go. So I figure the more time I have online, the more exposure I can get, the better. But I am editing a video of an unboxing at my local fish store of their shipment that they got in this past week. So I'm not. I've kind of got two versions. I've got one that has like a brief time lapse glimpse through like the saltwater side as well. Kind of a 2x speed walkthrough real quick. And then I've got the version without that is just the unboxing of the freshwater. I didn't film the saltwater unboxing. They kind of go on at the same time in that store. They have a salt specialist and a fresh specialist. So I could add the other stuff in, but it'd probably be a couple minutes longer. But I wanted you all's opinion, since you all will be the one watching it, if you wanted to see just kind of a quick glimpse at what they've got going on. I am going to do a full store tour, but the people that just bought it, there's, again, I'm trying to break myself with that. The people that just purchased it had another business, aquatic business here in town. So they are trying to do a lot of improvements, and they've done a wonderful job. But every time I get ready to film a store tour, they are adding something new. Like, you know, yesterday I went in and they had added a new flu ball rack. So there's always something new that they're working on. They just added a whole bunch of brand new shelving. They've added some new tanks. So I'm waiting until they kind of hit a plateau, I think is what I said in the video. There's again of just being set up and being where they're trying to get it to before I do that video. But there is a store tour in the works, so I'm looking forward to being able to do that, because I think you all will enjoy it. So that, I guess, is my question: is would you all like to see a brief glimpse of the saltwater side in this video, or would you rather it just straight be the unboxing of the freshwater fish? Okay, I'm at the bottom. I think you all still have me. Says we've got 12 likes. Oh, you know what? The this wonderful link isn't working either. Like to see new fish. You are painting. Alright, Dawn. Don't let them work you too hard. Both? Okay. I will throw in the time lapse of going through the store just so you all can kind of see where I go to. You've probably already seen a good bit of it in Bob's, Kaler's Aquatics. He did some video there the last time he came up here with Ed. There's again. So I will throw that in. They are basically, I can go up there and film whenever I want to. They're really cool about it. Sorry, that's a horrible habit of mine. Welcome back, 44. And I actually had a teacher. Hey, Crystal, welcome to the stream. I had a teacher in maybe 3rd grade that if you were giving a presentation and you said or she would deduct a point. So you were really quick to learn to stop saying or but I've picked it back up over the years. So, as Corey would say. But yeah, I've Salty Peak. Alright, I will leave the Salty Peak in there. Doesn't have a lot of saltwater fish, and here's one of the problems with filming the unboxings. That store in particular, when they get their shipment in, they actually cut all the tank lights, which I think is phenomenal because it helps reduce the stress on the fish. But it makes for horrible filming of the actual fish that are in the aquariums. Doesn't affect filming the fish in the bags, but it's difficult to get good shots because there's no lighting in the tanks, so mostly what you're getting is the glare from the overhead lighting in the store. But I did go back the next day and film some footage of the fish in the tanks. Hey, Tampa Tom, welcome to the stream. So I am going to include that in there. But I think at this point it's looking like a 25 to 30 minute video for the unbagging. Unboxing, because I filmed them coming out of the shipping boxes while they were in the bags, and then I filmed them being unbagged into the tanks so that you can kind of get a look at them. But I won't give everything away, but there's some really neat fish in there. So that one I will have out next week. I do have a review video I'm going to put out this week. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. So, what we can do if you'd like is, if you all want to do a deep dive, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of check out the full setup of what I've got going on for this right here. I think I've got maybe $50 in this whole setup. So I've got some little things that I've done to remain cost effective and efficient that are kind of little hacks, little good to know type of things that you might come in handy at some point. I see I need to fix the air stone. They yanked it out of one of the sponge filters. I'm thinking about getting some sort of, maybe like a Christmas light clip now that it's that time of year, and using it on my PVC sponge filters that I build to hold the airline in there. Because I do have issues from time to time of a fish will swim into it or something will happen and the airline will come out of the filter. I'm going to assume you all are still there. OBS just disconnected and reconnected. Hey, Aqua Balls, welcome to the stream. So this kind of goes without saying, but I'll say it anyways. There's again. If there's somebody in here that you all haven't checked out, go check them out. We've got a lot of cool channels in here. You know, love for love, as Susan would say. It's important to have that fish fam support. So I highly encourage you all to check each other out. You know, everybody is not for everybody, but it's at least worth seeing what people have going on to know whether or not you will enjoy their content. Except Pam. Don't go check out Pam. She's mean. She's hateful, and she's just a terrible person. She runs people over with her car and runs around naked on the porch. And yes, I said naked. And I'm only saying these things because she's away from her keyboard and isn't going to respond at the moment. We love you, Pam. I think Pam is one of my favorites. If nothing else, just her basic live stream style of I'm just going to come on here and hang out and we can look at some fish and talk about some things and just, you know, chit chat. And there's that board again. There we go. So the plants that are in there are not... She's a witch. Pam 44 Mag says you're a witch. I think Pam's probably going to say thank you when she sees that 44. The wisteria that's in there is not going to stay like that. I just got it. Yeah, definitely a feisty one, full moon. I just got it not long ago, and I wanted to get it out of the little 10-gallon I had it in. So I stuck it in here, gave the tetras a little bit of cover. But I don't have a lot of gravel in the bottom of this. I mean, it's maybe a ½ inch. So I may add some more gravel and then spread them around. But I also need to get... I'm working on finding some good 3-foot lights. I think I found a... Hey, Mob Guppy, welcome to the stream. I think I've found a viable solution for 4-foot lighting, but I'm still looking into 3-foot lighting. So when I find something there, I'll buy it and try it and let you all know how it goes. Right now I've got a Fluval. I don't even know what it is. It doesn't have anything on the fixture. I just know it's a Fluval because it's got it on the remote for it. But it hangs about 8 inches over the top 40-gallon that I've got it on, which makes it fairly annoying for trying to sit in front of it and stream because you get this bright flash of light above me. And now I'm slightly blind from looking at it. Thank you, Candy. I appreciate you very, very much. I know how important your time is. Now that constitutes an entire month worth of work that you're allowed to do in my stream, so no more work for a month. Somebody set a timer on Candy's work. Alright, Candy, I appreciate you letting me know that as well. Hey, Chris, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here, buddy. We were just saying bad things about you. No, I'm just kidding. I love Chris. So, one of the things that I am working on, which has kind of turned into a riding the coattails thing of Rack and Chris because I've not gotten any traction with it, and they're doing great things and I'm still just stuck a running. But I'm working on getting my LFS to get with Project Piava. I don't know if their wholesaler is getting fish from getting their fish from Seagrass or not. So I don't know how that works. I don't know if they can sell the tanks without being in the supply chain from Seagrass. Hey, Pond and More, welcome to the stream. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I've got them interested. So I'm hoping that we can do that. But I did get my Piaba fish. I got the first one, and I told Rack, I said, if you still have any left in 2 weeks, I'm buying the rest of them, but I want somebody else to have an opportunity. And then they kind of sat around until that stream the other day, and then they disappeared, so I was glad to see that. And of course, you all know that Chris is working on the coloring book for Piaba, so I think that's phenomenal as well. So here's what we're going to do, unless there are any objections. I'm going to grab this camera and I'm going to show you all what I have set up behind me. Gotcha. Okay, good to know, Chewy. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to play middleman. I get a lot of support from my LFS, and we have a wonderful relationship. But the gentleman that runs it is definitely business minded, and I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever. But if I come to him and I say, "Hey, check out Piaba," and he goes, "Well, what's it about?" and I go, "I don't know. Email him and find out what's going on," because I have no information on how that would work with your store and your supply chain. That's not the way that I want to present it. So I've got to try and contact Piaba, see if I can get some information so that I can go back to the LFS and go, okay, I've talked to them, here's what they're doing, here's what they're about, here's, a product they have that I think is wonderful, here's how you would go about getting involved with that. I think of a wonderful selling point from my perspective to them is the fact that there are no local fish stores that are involved with it. If I go on the Piaba map, there's not a store I can get a Piaba tank for hundreds and hundreds of miles. So I'm hoping that I can get them involved. But what I'm going to do is grab this camera over here and just kind of go over this tank behind me. More time here. Okay, got you. Candy, I appreciate it. I really, really do. I hate to have you doing any type of work, but this will allow me to get that information up on the website, and then it will give us a really simple source that we can look and see exactly, right, Full Moon Aquatics, that we can see exactly who's streaming, when they're streaming. It will be in Eastern Standard Time because that's my local time, and everybody being in a different time zone, I had to pick one overall time, just the same as you're sending it to me in your time zone, Candy. So I figured versus posting each streamer's time in their time zone, I could just put it all in Eastern, and then everybody can work back an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours like they need to. So yeah, for anybody that may have missed it, let's clear that. Let's do this. That'll be really simple. You can just click on the website, and on the home page it will have the stream times for the Fish Fam. So it may, if there is a larger person that's maybe not in the Fish Fam and it overlaps with somebody that is smaller and more in our circle, if you will, then I'll post that person that is closer to us versus posting the big stream over a small tuber. I wouldn't feel right doing that. So there may be bigger channels that have streams going at the same time. Yeah, so 44, there was that one website. They were $159. It did not go further down to see who else had it. If you want, I can pull it back up and we can take a look again. We can do some Googling. I have to get my cursor in the right spot. But I think that will be helpful. That's the biggest reason I wanted to do it. I don't care about site traffic necessarily. I don't have anything on there to sell. Hey Connor, welcome to the stream. So it's not like I'm making anything off you visiting it. It basically either leads you back to YouTube or leads you to Project Piava at this point. Oh, I don't know, Caleb. I've got to talk to Fishy Biz and make sure that you've got permission to stream at 9 o'clock. He might push you back to, 10 or 11. I'm just picking on you, buddy. I'm just picking on you. Okay, Candy has sent me a full list. I will make sure you're on there. And again, everything's going to be in Eastern time. So let me pull this out real quick. Excuse me. So you all can kind of see. Just a real basic, simple format. Pop it up, take a look, go, oh, here's who's going today. And then close it and, know what's going on. Plus, again, I think it'll be helpful for people that, are doing streams. And they're like, I don't know who's going on today. They can pull it up real quick and go, okay, here's the lineup for today. Oh, you're trying to contact some people on YouTube about the Pleco 44? Yeah, I've got to, there's again. I have got to contact my LFS Friday at 2. Okay, Connor, I will make sure not to put you on there. I'm just kidding, buddy. I'll throw it on there. Yeah, Candy was nice enough to take time out of her extremely hectic and busy schedule to provide me a list of people's stream times, since it's tricky. It almost feels like promoting. If I go into somebody's live stream and say, hey, do you want me to put your stream time on my webpage? It feels uncomfortable from my perspective, like I'm trying to promote the page when I'm really not. I'm just trying to give us a good source as a community to go to. The name of the L56 was Chubby Rubber Lip, the common name. I can pull it back up for you. Here, let's do that. Move over to the other monitor here and go back and go L56. So yeah, Discus Madness has it in stock for 159 bucks. It looks like there, buddy. There is, I'll pull this open so that you can get scientific name as well if you want it. Okay, and so I'm assuming there are going to be, if I had to guess, location variations, given that, so that would be where I would think the color variants are coming from. Like the one that I saw on here didn't have nearly as much black as that quote-unquote Pikachu Pleco did. Come on. Oh, too big. There we go. So see, it's got all the other characteristics of that quote-unquote Pikachu Pleco, but the black markings are different. So I think they just found a really, really, really nice specimen, and that's what they're going with. So let me get back down here. And move this back down. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to reduce this again. I just wanted to get that pulled up so that he could get that info. And well enough right there. So let me get back over to chat. Whoa, didn't mean to blow it up. And I bet it's popped over into top. Yeah, it popped over into top chat. I bet it popped over the last time I did that. Alright, now I've got live chat. Apparently, apparently I've been on top chat, which is one of the things I always click when I first come in here, is switch it over to live. But whenever I move windows around and I bring it back up after being somewhere else, it moves it back to top chat. So let's see. Yeah, Connor, and that may be the only reason I don't put that on there is just because it's not fish related. I'm thinking, you know, there's got to be a line somewhere, so to speak, on where we stop putting things on there. Otherwise, people will just look at it and go, I don't even know what part of this is fish related and what's not. But I don't want to exclude anybody at the same time. So, case in point, like say if Chewy were to live stream about video editing and audio production and things like that, much as I love Chewy, I don't know that it would be a good representation for me to put it on that list just because it's specifically the fish streamers. Now what I may do is I may go and add another section along with that of people that are, you know, not fish related but a great stream, and add links there. So let's see, 255 your or 2255, excuse me. So it's 255 there. It is 1657 now, my time. Connor. Welcome back, Pam. It's been kind of chilly here. Yeah, Friends of the Fish Fam. I like that, Jess. I may take that. Don't copyright it. Don't trademark it. So, alright. Does anybody want to see what's going on in the tank behind me? I know I've mentioned showing it, but I've not actually seen that anybody even cared to see it. So. Oh, and the snowballs are moving around now. Awesome. Yeah, I'm really glad I got them into this 40. Let's see, okay. So the setup behind me consists of, basically came from a fish store. And it is approximately 70 gallons for each tank. Let me see. I'm going to cover the camera so I don't give you all motion sickness here and spinning a circle. Alright, no motion sickness. Okay, so the interior, let me hit this button so I can see what I'm filming. And move that. Okay. The background was already done. It's a foam, which you can see. I need to kind of go back over it the next time I have water out of it. But they just used a foam, and then they've got some padding or some stuffing in parts of it, but it goes around the overflow. For lighting, because this is going to be bright, let me see if I can do this without blinding you all. On the lighting, there's not really a good way to mount these since it's got this top on it up here. But what I did was, see if I can get a shot in between here. There we go. That's actually a magnet right there that I attached to the light, and then there's one on top on the other side of the plastic. So that's how the light is being held in. And that was just a light I picked up for $5 at the LFS. They were trying to clear out stuff from the previous owners. The tank setup I got for doing a little bit of work around the pet store there. And then just a DIY sponge filter in the corner. Excuse me. Another one that the air stone is popped out of, which I just put that together last night. I want to test and see if it was going to do that or not. While we're up here, I will give you all an update on the red tail, if I can get my camera rig in here. Maybe. can see the reflection better than you can see the fish. And there's the little lady bisher getting in the way. But the red tail is getting very, very big, very quick, which is of course to be expected. So down here I had the same issue with lighting. So what I did was actually have under the gravel, there's another magnet, or two, and then I took this little light here, and it's attached magnetically, so it's not going anywhere. It's got a really strong grip, so that is how I rigged it. And I've got that set up for a filter sock, which I've actually got pulled out and soaking right now so that I can put it back in. But I took that mag-driven pump, hooked up some tubing, put a pre-filter on it, and it runs in there and splits out to those two, which of course overflows and drains back down to where that pre-filter sock goes to. So legitimately for less than 50 bucks with a little bit of luck and being at the right place at the right time, that's what I've got into this setup, excluding the cost of fish, of course. Hey, Rob93. Sorry I was away from the screen filming this. But yeah, so that's little things like that. It's what do I have? How can I make this work? Now, there's somebody that's actually printing some brackets on a 3D printer for some of these setups for their lighting, so I'm going to see if I can't buy a couple off of them. But that is that rack. Pretty simple. There's that word again. It does have a hole back there that I could use to overflow it into a sump on the side, but I'm kind of space limited on what I can do, and there's not a lot of room underneath it. These actually stack 3 tall in the store, but this particular setup, they had feeder fish in it at that point, and the bottom tank hadn't even held water in years and years. It actually had tons and tons of silicone and hydraulic cement. And I will be right back to the chat. I can't see it from where I'm at, but, and look, you all can see my mess, hashtag working fish room. There's my little project I'm working on right now. They are currently brackish. Now let's see, they may not even. Let's see what they're sitting at. I need to add their dose of salt for today. So, focus, there we go. So I am just slowly raising the salt level on these guys. I got them from someone that shops at my work. We got to talking fish one day. They were having some issues and had a lot of things going on at home. When I got them, they were kind of sick. So what I'm doing is transitioning them over to marine, and that is taking care of the bacterial issues and things of that nature. I'm no scientist here, but I have noticed a lot of times, and this is not an all-inclusive, but a lot of things that afflict them in fresh water can't stand the transition over to salt. So even just doing that, they've all cleared up and not had any issues. So I will probably fully transition them over. I may pull the one guppy out of there and slowly bring him back to fresh, but I definitely want to transition the mollies over. I've wanted to do a saltwater molly. Oh, and down here's the male jaguar cichlid. He's mad. I had to take his lady out. He was getting a little rough with her, and she got kind of beat up and lost some scales. So I've got her in a 10-gallon. But I'm gonna cover the camera so I can flip you all out, getting you sick. And we can either, well, I'll put you back on the snowballs for right now. You all get to see the piranha tank all the time. working on it. There we go. Maybe. Okay. Hey, Anthony. Glad to have you in here. I appreciate the lurk. Those are very inaccurate. Oh, yeah, I know. I know they are, Candy. And a lot of it has to do with, like, case in point, if I just dump that water out of there and I go back and let it sit and dry out and then I use it again, where that salt will crystallize on that needle, that's going to cause some issues. I'm going to scroll back up real quick and see if I can't try and catch up with the chat. Looks like I missed Chris. Oh. Chris, if I didn't miss you, I appreciate you swinging by. Let's see. Caught Rob coming in. Safe. Yeah, Rob, you're not even to your own stream on time. I always appreciate you swinging by, though. I almost messaged you earlier, 93, because this is my my push to 200 is what I'm trying to do, and I know you're big on helping people break those boundaries and meet those goals. Tater salad, thank you. I think you had asked. Let me see if I can. Oh, Candy had asked. I knew somebody had asked when I was scrolling up. I did not make the background. That was actually already in there when I got the tank from them. I guess one of the employees had done it at some point over the years, but it's kind of chipped away, and there were actually some other pieces in it, which, let me shut this because you're getting that god-awful light glare. So, in the center, there was actually another piece that went underneath that little ledge. I took it out just to open that up, and I did the same thing over in the corner. I yanked that piece of styrofoam setup out of there just to kind of open it up and give it more space. So no, I did not make the background. I absolutely love it. I may end up doing that on another tank, giving it a try myself, but I honestly don't have time. I've got a 10-gallon sitting over here that needs resealed that I haven't had time to do because I want to shoot it when I reseal it. But in terms of the inaccuracy of that, you're absolutely right. Especially if you don't rinse it out and you get any little bit of salt in there, you get any air bubbles in there, they can be way off. If it was anything that was critical for the salt level, I would use a refractometer versus a hydrometer. But given that I'm simply adding basically an unmeasured amount of salt each day just to slowly bring them up, I'm not too worried about it. Mostly I'm looking at when is it getting into the range of being full salt and making sure I don't go too high. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, and that's where you mentioned it right there, refractometer. Yeah, I used to have one back when I did my reef tanks. I don't anymore. I do have one other salt tank, but the variance on those is not big enough for me to worry about it with a fish-only live rock tank. Hey, Big Easy, welcome. Glad to have you here. Appreciate you joining the stream. I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. That was Miss Fevers picking up some light bulbs for this fixture over the piranha tank. I wanted to make sure that she was grabbing the right things. But yeah, I would definitely, if I got back into reef tanks, I would definitely get another refractometer. But I have found over the years that those work well enough if properly maintained and cleaned and used properly, that they're within reason to be able to work. It's kind of like, in my opinion, the dip test versus using the actual master test kits. Um, the dip tests are not nearly as accurate or easily readable, but they'll work. They're close enough in a pinch. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, Caleb, thank you. I'm working on it. I mean, I haven't had your kind of growth, but um, yeah, no, and Fish Tropic, I know they're not too bad, but realistically, I've got a tank with some guppies in it and a 55 with the snowflake eel. I've not got any type of corals, so well, and they can be. I checked that one against the LFS up here against their refractometer, and it was fine. And if you're going to use one of those, I would recommend, well, A, you properly maintain it, you wash it out so you don't get any salt buildup on it. You dip it and fill it properly so you don't get the air bubbles. And then on top of doing those things, every 3 months, take it down to your LFS and just, set. Most of us have a slightly decent LFS, if not a really good one. Just take it in there and say, hey, would you care if I, check the calibration of this versus one of your refractometers? Any decent LFS is going to say, yeah, that's fine. So that's my recommendation. If you are using a hydrometer, maintain it properly, use it properly, and then just every 3 months or so, when you're going into the fish store, just say, hey, can we check the calibration on this? Oh, Don, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't even know the rules on there if it's acceptable, but even if it is acceptable, I still wouldn't want to share my own stream on there. I just feel kind of, I don't know, doing it. Jess, I appreciate that. And yeah, I love the snowflake eel. She is in that's the one tank that made it to that end of the house. Oh no, Kenny, I definitely agree. I like a refractometer much more than a hydrometer. It's just a matter of, with everything that I have going on and all the tanks and all the things I'd like to upgrade, wants versus needs, it doesn't make it far enough up on the list of needs to outweigh some of the other things. I would rather put that $50 towards, the central air pump for the fish rooms. And so I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I definitely, if you're like, I don't care, I'm gonna buy the best thing I can, get a refractometer. If you're doing anything that is extremely sensitive, get a refractometer. If you're transitioning some guppies from freshwater to saltwater, you could probably squeeze by with a $12 hydrometer. But again, that's just my opinion. But I in no way think that a hydrometer is equal to a refractometer whatsoever. I just don't feel that I have enough need to spend $50 there when I have other things that could definitely use the funding more. And I try and set, I guess, fish money. Okay, this is where my max on what I'm going to spend on fish stuff this week. Don, I appreciate that very much, brother. So, I don't disagree with you at all on the refractometer. I just don't feel that in my specific instance I have enough need to warrant me going and purchasing it when I could go buy 9 sponge filters, 9 sponge filters for the same price of what I would spend on that one piece of equipment, when I could use the sponge filters more than I could the refractometer. Yeah, when I did, when that 220 that I talked about earlier, when it was set up as a reef tank, you best believe there was not a hydrometer going anywhere near it. It was solely refractometer. Full moon, I don't really know about digital thermometers. I mean, I know about them. I have several that I use. I find that I don't always trust what they're telling me. I like to. Hey, Pleco, glad to have you here. I saw you and I meant to say hello, but I don't think I did. So if I didn't, Pleco Whisper, appreciate you being here. Glad to have you in the stream. So, case in point, I ordered some online, and this is a link you will not find me sharing anywhere. I got a dozen of them, and the variance was like 4 degrees plus or minus, based against. Oh, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Based against one of the top fin, I think it is. So, what I did was I took the ones that were the closest to the one I trusted the most and used those. The ones that I knew were off by more than 0.2 degrees Fahrenheit, wherever I mounted them, I put a note on it. So if I felt that it was actually 80 degrees when it was reading 82, I put a -2 next to it, so that I knew when I looked at it, that I needed to subtract 2 degrees from it. Now, on my water change system, which is very, very low end, but very efficient, I have basically in the bathroom that's on the other side of this wall, the adapter for my Python, and then I have a cup and a little command hook that the cup sits in, and then the probe and the suction cup are attached into that cup. So whenever I'm getting my water temp set, I just pull it down into the faucet, adjust the temperature to what I need, and then turn the Python on, hang the cup back up. Yeah, I don't know. I've had some, I guess, bad accidents, if you can even call it that. I've seen bad things happen with the mercury ones, where they get tossed in a tank or they get moved around or something happens and they end up getting busted. So I do like the digital simply for having the probe in there is a little bit safer. I don't trust them versus mercury thermometer though, and that's usually what I will compare my best or my most trusted digital thermometers to is a mercury one, and say, okay, how is this looking? You know, what's the variance on here? I understand you're going to have, I think the average given acceptable variance is like 0.2 degrees plus or minus. You know, we don't live in a perfect world, even if we expect a perfect outcome. But when it gets to be, oh, this is a degree off, or I had 1 or 2 out of that order that were 4 and 5 degrees off, and I'm just like, no, I'm not even going to use that. So that's one of those things that I bought, and it was garbage, so you all never saw it or heard about it. Yeah, I think that's how I want to phrase that. That being said, this one, which needs new batteries. Yeah. So this one, I want to say is 2 degrees high, if I remember. I don't know. I moved it and I need batteries for it. So, oh, now it's thinking about working. No, so that's about, yeah, it's not quite that warm in there. No. That's more like 78 in there. All right. What time we got? 5:19. No, stop that. Make sure we're on live still. Okay, let's go back over here. So I want to pull up the new Ranger Plecos, in case any of you all have not seen them. Because I'm absolutely loving the... Oh, hey, look. Trying to look at too many screens here. So I just think these guys, and I am going to expand this back out for you. I'll try and do it slowly so it doesn't make anybody sick here. So that is the new Ranger Pleco I was talking about. They are just absolutely adorable. I love them. Which, I mean, I'm a Pleco nut anyways, but I'm trying to get some more in. I may order off of this site. Oh, and now they're out of stock. And they also upped the price before they went out of stock, it looks like. But they were like 13 or 15 bucks at my LFS, and he's trying to get me more. I'm trying to get about at least 6 more. I'd like to get 8 more. I've got 2, but I love them. The finnage is awesome, and that white stripe they've got, it's a really pretty fish. So if you happen to run across them, I recommend picking them up. They're a gorgeous fish to add to the aquarium. They're supposed to max out around 7 inches. So about what your bushy nose is looking at, just slightly larger. Yeah, so Chris says he's got his calendar ready to help Pam. We'll have it on webpage today. You know, you creative people make me look bad. I have to say that for the rest of the group. The Rangers that I got at my LFS, I think I gave 13 for them. I think they were charging 15. But they've got them on the site now. They're sold out for one, which this is the first time I've been on the site and they've been sold out. For $16.88, but I'm pretty sure they had them for $14.88 or $14.95 or something like that the last time I looked. Oh yeah, see it says $12.99 in stock. And then when you click on it, or wait, no, that was a different site. Sorry, I forgot I went down to that picture. So here we go. $12.99 in stock from Aqua Imports. Hashtag not sponsored. So here, let me come back down to this monitor and expand this out for you all so you all can get this information for those of you that are looking for it. There we go. I'll come back over here. And they're adorable. I love them. They're just so cute. I've got 2 of them in a 10-gallon right now because I'm still kind of monitoring them, given that they're still new to me. I mean, I've had them for maybe a month, but I'm being very delicate with them. So yeah, so if you're looking for new Ranger Plecos, there you go. From Peru, the Rio Nene. $12.99 in stock at Aqua Imports. That's probably the cheapest you're going to find them, unless they just like find a massive hoard and ship them back. And I got mine in at about that size, 1 to 1 1/4 inches. Let's see. I don't know how much I trust that they're an excellent algae eater, given how much people say that about just about any Pleco. I have noticed they do like vegetation-based food, but they will also eat brine shrimp. Now it may just be that it's in there, so they're checking it out. But I have also used. They did actually like the spirulina brine shrimp that I put in there. So that's that little guy. And let me move this back down and jump back over to the chat because I see it scrolling and I'm missing things. So fasten your seatbelts. I'm going to move this screen back so that we can get the stream back. But there's the information on those guys. Again, not affiliated or sponsored by them, but you wanted to know where to find them. There they are. And oh, hey Susan, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Always glad to have you. So yeah, so that's one that I'm really liking. Again, my thing is plecos. I enjoy my other fish, and I love my bichers. There's that word again. The ornates are getting absolutely massive. It's amazing how quick they're growing. But if I could only keep one species of fish, it would have to be plecos. Yeah. Just because there's so much variation and they're just so wonderfully different and amazing. I do have a couple batches of fry. Oh, Susan, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything is okay. Yeah, I was gonna make sure I was off in time for your stream. If somebody else wants to fill the gap, they're welcome to. Otherwise, I can carry over to cover it. I mean, I don't. It's whatever. It's whatever the people want. Give the people what they want. But I am really sorry to hear that. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. You know, we love you, Fish Fam Mom, and we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. So that sucks, just to put it. I'm sorry. That's always one of those rough transition moments because I don't want to brush that off because that's horrible, and at the same time I hate to leave you all sitting here staring at me feeling bad for Susan. So yeah, the plecos, these snowballs here, as you can see, one of them's in the cave. And looks like 3 of them are in the cave, and I don't see the other ones maybe in caves. But, oh no, we've got 4 in caves. No, 3. That was another fish. And what I'm going to do is fix something real quick while we kind of have our moment of silence, if you will. This will potentially fix this issue. Alright, that should have given you all an actual subscriber, or not subscriber, viewer count that's actually working now. Susan, you let me know when you're ready for plecos, and we'll see what we can't do for you. I've definitely got bristlenose, if that's what you're looking for. Alright, so to segue from there, but if you want, we can take a look at how I've got the pleco set up over here. The watering spikes. There is a Amazon. You know what? I didn't post that video yet. That's the video I'm posting this week. But you can find them on Amazon. Cough, cough. If you go through one of my affiliate links for the fish food and find them. Actually, here, if you give me a second, I can pull them up. Bear with me just a second. I'll make this work. Just keep swimming. No, we don't want to do it there. Alright, so let's go here. And we're going to add another window. Yeah, 44 mag, I have got 3 batches of bristlenose going right now. None of them are big enough to ship at the moment. But I'm fattening them up, so we'll get them there soon. Alright, so that popped that up there. Let me get you a link. I think Ginger's gonna buy me all the products I need off of Amazon. Zen Ginger has been amazing at going through my affiliate link and helping me out. So full disclosure, because I think they changed the regulations around it. If you click on my affiliate link, it helps me in a financial manner. So there's full disclosure. And just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. See, I should have posted that video earlier in the week, and then I'd have that link there for you. Oh, you're killing me. I love when Amazon tries to tell me my password is wrong. That'll do it. Sorry guys. Actually, here, let me go ahead and pop my chat up to the other monitor real quick while I'm doing this. That way I'm not missing out on what's going on here. Hey Belvin, welcome to the stream. Yes, both Gingers are amazing. I don't really get to talk to Ginger Graves a whole lot just because she's usually driving when she's on. So I've had a lot more interaction with Zen Ginger. But yeah, both are truly awesome people. The problem is I never log into this from my laptop, so I don't have any of my information saved. I do now. Oh, the joys of switching over to a laptop from everything being Android. There we go. So there are a lot of different variations to the Okay. Tell you what. Let's just do it this way. Let's just do it this way. Tater Salad, always glad to see you, buddy. I appreciate you being in here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Wonderful night. Get you some rest. So, yeah. This is a pain in the backside on this laptop. My phone, I can pull it up and flip it over in no time. Huh. Bear with me here, people. I'm going to try and do this sideways so it doesn't affect you all. A 1,000 notifications later. No, Full Moon, you're fine. I just, I hadn't gotten the link yet because I hadn't finalized that video. But I needed to do this anyways. So, you're asking a question. I want to give you the answer. I got nothing else to do, you know. Might as well be helpful while I'm streaming. Trying not to move the camera around too much as I search here. They've got 4-packs, 6-packs, 2-packs, and 8-packs. The one I get is an 8-pack, and part of the reason I get it is because the dimensions are slightly larger on the interior. So it turns out to be a little bit better value. Oh, hey Zen, we were just saying nice things about you. Absolutely. We truly were. Alright. So here we go. So... now, bear with me. I've got you the link. I'm bringing it to you. Just need to jump in my own live stream from my phone. And hopefully we still have the camera since I have that window closed. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't want me to pull it up on my laptop. It's not giving it to me. It's saying I don't even have an Amazon account. But as soon as I go in... Okay, so here's the fun part. I'm going to have to flip you all sideways on my phone here so I can get chat box. There we go. Alright, there is the link. Let me get out of here. that's just going to make things worse. And close these other apps so we get a good quality camera stream, and I will put you all right back on the snowballs. There we go. Yeah, for some reason it didn't want to allow me in. It's saying I have no account with Amazon, or that my account has been closed and to please contact them. When I tried to use the laptop to do it. Alright, let me pull my chat box down here to the other monitor. Move this over a little bit. Rod, have a wonderful night. If I didn't miss you already, I appreciate you hanging out. Glimpse of the saltwater for Bob Kaler. Yeah, absolutely. Which Bob has seen the Bob. If you go on his channel, he did a tour. He's got, I think Ed and I are the thumbnail for that video. Chattanooga Ed and myself. So he's seen it, but it's changed since he's been there. It changes every time well, not every time, because I'm in there a couple times a week, generally speaking. But every week it's changing. They're adding new tanks, they're improving, they're adding new shelving, they're bringing in new products. So I may have something in there that he hasn't seen before. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Feel bad, I think I missed saying bye to Rod. Yes, I am in live chat. Thank you for the reminder. And double check. Yep, live chat. Should be. Look, see, video proof, live chat. Bring that back off the screen. Tell you what, it's a little different to get used to, but I'm definitely liking having multiple monitors. It does make life a lot easier, and lets me share more with you all. So, got a couple different options. I really need to set up some commercial breaks. That's what I need to do. Hey, Chris, if you're, I know you're in and out. If you're there, Chris, do you use OBS, if I'm not mistaken? Right, or I think you may use both, because I know you were on, well, I don't know what you use. I thought you used OBS, but if you do, you can probably answer my question. Well, I'm sure you can answer my question. Oh, hold on, Dawn. I thought I got yours. I may have. Do I think the watering spikes work well for bristlenose? I love the ones that select aquatics, but pricey. Dawn, this is the part where I'm supposed to tell you to check out my YouTube video about raising fry. Link in the description. No, I do. I absolutely love them. I have noticed that since I started using the watering spikes. Yes, Zen Ginger, it is. That's actually what we were talking about. I was praising you. I made the joke that you're the one that's allowing me to buy all of these other products for me to review because you're using my link. It is very, very much appreciated. So it is definitely working. I think it usually takes about 24 hours before I see it, because I kind of wondered the first time you used it, I didn't see anything for a day or two, and then the other day you said you had used it again, and so I opened it while we were in that live chat, and I didn't see anything, but like earlier I opened it up and saw it on there, which it doesn't tell me like what you bought or anything like that. It tells me like a click-through rate, what percentage I have for people using my link versus actually buying products, how many items were purchased, how many of those items were shipped, and then the associate fee that I get for it. So, but yes, it's definitely helpful. Every little bit helps, and it's very much appreciated. But yeah, Don, I've had so much more success using the watering stakes than I did with just other random caves and things, that I absolutely love them. And that's why I've gotten 2 of the 8-packs so far, and I need to get another one. The bushy nose love them and have spawned. I think I've pulled at least a dozen spawns from the watering spikes or the watering stakes of bushy nose fry. The snowballs, as you can see, they're really enjoying it. Yeah, Zen, I saw that. I was tempted to try those out. I still can't bring myself to justify paying $16 plus shipping for 2 of those when I can get 8 of those. I can't bring myself to do it. I think if it was a local thing and I was like, say, in my store and it's like, hey, 20% off, these are $8, I might pick one up and snag it and pay the tax on it. But I just haven't been able to bring myself to do that. I did consider it, and I still might, just to try it and maybe do a side-by-side comparison. But the bushy nose have spawned in them. The snowball plecos have taken up homes in them, as you can see in the video for yourself. The clown plecos. Hey, GRB, welcome. Glad to have you here, buddy. Let's see. The clown plecos use them religiously. Haven't gotten any spawns. And then I don't have one in with the new Ranger plecos yet, just because they're so small. I've basically got a sponge filter, some cholla wood, and 1 rock, and then some plants in there, so that I can find them easily, because I like to check several times a day just to make sure they're doing okay, given that they're still a new species to me. So, let's see, you still haven't spawned yet. Are you sure that they're sexually mature, Zen? Don, the link to the watering spikes is the one that I posted. Let me see if I can snag it again. No, it's only going to let me remove it. I didn't mean to click on that. But yeah, if you scroll up just a little bit, because I'd have to go back through my phone to repost it for whatever reason. It, actually here, well, no, it's not letting me do that either. Right above where you asked me about being in live chat, that link was for the watering spikes. Hi.
Are you doing a live stream?
Yeah, I'm doing a live stream. You want to say hi to everybody? Alright, be careful, watch the cord.
Hi everybody.
So we got Zen Ginger and Melvin from QSA, and Dawn is in here, and GRB, and yeah, everybody, yeah.
I figured it out.
Yeah, alright. I love you. I'll be out in a little bit, okay? Alright, be good.
Okay.
Yeah, have you conditioned them? Well, let me just, versus asking you every single question. Have you done all the things that you would normally do to try and trigger them breeding already, Ginger? Hey, Maple Street, welcome. Glad to have you here. Yeah, the little one's just got home. He popped his head around the corner. Are you doing a live stream? And I'm like, yep, yep. Yeah, it's actually a little boy, but he refuses to let us cut his hair, which he's got gorgeous long hair. Kind of on the fish room tour, JRB. I was showing off some of the stuff going on in here. I had hoped to have that other camera mobile, but when I hooked it up over the Wi-Fi, it was just way too laggy. So I decided to wire it in. I could try and do a tour, but it would involve carrying my laptop, my mic, and that secondary camera. Hey, I guess Lumpy Dog. I missed Lumpy Dog coming. Oh, there. Hey, Lumpy Dog. Welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. So Not. Oh no, it's fine. I was just the only reason I correct is for future reference. Otherwise, you let it go, and a year from now, people are asking about my daughter, and I'm going, I don't have a daughter, and they're like, but the live stream. So that's the only why. It's just for information purposes. But I'm willing to give that a try if it comes down to that. Well, I've had mine breed in community several times, so it's possible. Mine don't seem to care. Case in point, yeah, the tour guide just left. Yeah, absolutely, Jeremy, you're right. Yeah, that's more. That's Bob's tour guide and my helper. So, but I mean, that's possible being in a community that might not want to, but I've not had issues. Like, case in point, I've got one that's sitting on eggs. He's got 4 other bristlenose in the 40-gallon with him, a small bisher that's growing out, a datnoid, and a black skirt tetra, and a couple hundred cherry shrimp. So, oh, the website, we were just looking at a pleco. That is the new Ranger pleco that I picked up a couple the other day. Somebody had mentioned they were going to try and find some. So we went ahead and pulled some up. Cute little fish. I really, really like them. I'd like to get a couple more. But we've kind of just been eyeballing some different plecos. I could probably switch this back now. Quit advertising for aqua imports since they aren't giving me any money. There we go. We'll put it back here. So I've still got a lot of work to do on the site, but it's up. It's got a bunch of different links. Go check out Project Piaba if you haven't already. So it's just kind of, I wanted to get the web address while it was available. You know, that way I could have the, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com, @Gmail, everything. So I wasn't having to try and change my name on different platforms. It makes it so much easier when it's just FishRoomFever @everything. So, on my mouse. I tell you, that's one thing that is messing with me a little bit is I keep losing my mouse on the other monitor. Yeah, Chewy, absolutely. No one touches the hair. Oh no, that would be awesome if they were lumpy dog. Now that was just the best view, which the camera's kind of falling over now. But see if I can get you. That was the best view of the snowballs. They were actually out eating a little while ago. So that's where we had that. But yeah, just kind of hanging out. I went over the tank setup behind me. If you want, I can show you my makeshift sump system that I've got. Okay. Melvin, I can't stay long. Set up live stream for QSA Aquatic at 6 before Susan. Okay, so Susan is not going on tonight, Melvin, in case you weren't in here on the new Tuesday lineup, Blockbuster Tuesday Kick It Off. So, yeah, just so you know, Susan's not going on in case you missed that. If you're going on at 6, what we can do is we can transition over to Melvin, show Melvin some support, and then I may jump back on after Melvin to kind of fill the gap that we now have with Susan taking a leave of absence. 4 inches, 5 caves, and a 54-gallon. Cool water changes, lots of food. He chases her, she runs away. They may have too much room. They may need less space to be able to get her in there. That's one possibility. With the lots of food, are you feeding like frozen brine, frozen bloodworms, things like that, Ginger? Because that's one thing that I do with mine, and really seems to help in terms of conditioning them and triggering. So if you're not trying in your foods frozen bloodworms and frozen brine shrimp, I would highly recommend that. Mine get a wide variety of food, but I definitely make sure that a couple times a week they get the frozen foods also, just for that protein to help with the buildup of eggs. So. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go storm Melvin's live stream. That'll give me a chance to go smoke a cigarette because I don't smoke in the house. And I can reset a couple things, see the kids for a minute while Melvin streams, and then I will jump back on after Melvin unless somebody else wants to have a go at it. They're welcome to do so and kind of fill the gap. You use fresh live baby brine shrimp and rapashi. Well, I'm not by any means saying that frozen is better than fresh live baby brine shrimp, but I would try, not the baby, but just try some frozen brine shrimp. You could even do the spirulina infused frozen brine shrimp. And bloodworms is the other thing. You could do brine shrimp, but it's going to act as a laxative, and so you don't really want to feed it constantly. But whenever I'm trying to really get production going, I'll dump both in there on the same night. I'll give them bloodworms and brine shrimp and let them go to town. Now, Caleb, you're not allowed to go live. You've still got more subscribers than me. I didn't even pick up one subscriber. So you don't get to go live yet, buddy. Sorry. Fishy Biz said no. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, Chris, Susan's not going on tonight. She had a loss in the family, unfortunately, so she is taking the night off, most understandably so. So I will probably fill in for her hour right up before you. Hey, Anna. But Melvin is about to go on here in a couple of minutes, so I figure we can go storm his chat, show some support, let Melvin do his thing, and then since Caleb was slow and I called dibs on it, I'm going to jump on after Melvin. Not that Caleb can't stream. There's nothing that says two people can't stream at once. You know, healthy competition. So... yeah, pretty much, Pam. That's what it's looking like. And that'll, I don't want to say make up for it, because I don't feel I need to make up for it, but there have been a couple times I haven't been able to get on and stream, so I'd like to fill in that gap. You know, Fishy Biz isn't here to push Caleb around, so I got to do it. So, tell you what, it is 2 minutes till. Let's do hashtag Pleco for Melvin's stream. If somebody wants to... yeah, I don't even think Susan's in here anymore. So... oh, Lumpy, he's old. He's super old. I think Chris takes 4... taking a nap. I'll message you back later, and then I never hear from him unless he pocket calls me. So... I just got a notification. That was probably Melvin. Can somebody snag Melvin's link and throw it up in the chat? Besides Candy, who I think is still lurking but shouldn't be working in here. And we'll go over there and storm Melvin with hashtag Pleco. And then when Melvin wraps up, I will get back on and stream a little bit longer. I may move to the other room, possibly. So 17 on. I appreciate all of you very much for hanging out. Yeah, just thank you. It means a lot to me. So thank you, Jess, because I've got so many windows going on so many screens right now that it's just like, yeah. That's right. I think you've mentioned that before, Chris, that Tuesday is nap day. I think you have mentioned that in the past. Oh, you're fine, Anna. I'm actually going to get back on after Melvin gets done. I just don't want to override him, you know, since he was scheduled to go on. So I figure we can go over there, show Melvin some support. Hashtag Pleco Raid. And then I will jump back on when Melvin gets done. So I will see you all in Melvin's. I thank you all very much for showing up.